Hey Bartek, how you doing? Paul, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope you're well.
The Leipzig Gewandhaus Orchestra under conductor Riccardo Chailly, playing us the third movement of the glorious Symphony Number 9 by Ludwig van Beethoven. Before 4 o'clock this afternoon, when John Brunning returns to World Music Drive on Classic FM, a chance to hear some music whispers On the Breeze, it's all about the gossip. Isn't it always? Music by Mozart and Figaro.
Hi John, how you doing?
Conducting Royal Ballet Symphonies, Gavin Sutherland. And what was it we heard? It was the prelude, the opening to the Winton Suite on Classic FM by Adam Cox. Classic FM.
So the surgery just called me back about.
Yeah.
Surgery called me back on He's a bit low on vitamin D. She asked me more questions. Does he fall down a lot? Blah blah. I said, I'm not an ordinary kid. I mean, he plays around. Blah blah blah. Anyway, he needs to get supplements. So definitely for 6 to 9 months. I said because this country don't get the supplements.
I told you I wasn't faking. I
I
went
don't think
there.
that has the cause of
I
war, but
went
anyway.
there. Yeah. No, Mummy said that. She said that it makes you feel dizzy.
Cannon going in, countersunk on the reverse side, and it will be countersunk on the mortise side as well.
Vigna Olesen playing Gigue on Rondo, written by Jean-Philippe Rameau. And before it, Grieg in Hall of the Mountain King, who were beckoned to Pagan Street's #1 Zachary Oromo with the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra. Just about half an hour before John Bunning is back with us for more Music Drive on Classic FM. John tells me his Drive Discovery this week is all about music from the French ballet. The album is called La Nuit de Paris. They'll tell you more, but maybe something from it. senior criminal Belgian composer in the United States of America. He was still working stories about him you can find at our website. We heard a lyric for Strings written by him, playing poetry, framing together with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. If you didn't catch Kate Blanchett here on Classic FM over the weekend, fret you not. Classic FM meets Kate Blanchett, all about her brand new film as she plays a conductor working with one of the world's most famous orchestras, and she took a few minutes out of the time, about more than a few minutes, to sit down and chat to Tim Leoro about the film, about her relationship with music, about how she learned to play the piano and then was told, you know what, I think you'd be a better actor than you are a pianist, and about the work that she did to prepare herself for this incredible role for which she's picking up awards and nominations left, right and centre. Classic FM meets Kate Blanchett. Listen again at Global Player. Right now it's 22 minutes to 4 on Classic FM, and still ahead how you could pick up some rather nice prizes simply by sharing with me and the rest of Classic FM your 3 favourite pieces of music. Is something from the movies among your choices? Maybe some inspiration from Nigel Hess?
Classic FM. Have you owned or leased a diesel Volvo in the last 13 years? If so, you could be entitled to significant compensation. Lee Day has already helped thousands of VW drivers and is now bringing legal claims to Volvo drivers. It's quick and easy to find out if you can make a claim. Go to leeday.co.uk or search Lee Day Volvo to use the safety checker and find out if you can bring a claim today. You can see and do more. Search for or along the coast. A VIP door-to-door transfer. So your holiday begins the moment you leave home. Simply search Saga Tours today and book early to get the best price and availability for your 2023 tour. Escorted touring by Saga. Experience is everything.
For over 50s only, APTA and ATO Protected. Insurance that gives you peace of mind isn't too much to ask. So it's good to know that NFU Mutual, we've won the Which Award for Insurance Brand of the Year 2022. No wonder 9 out of 10 customers choose to renew with us every year. Search NFU Mutual to find out more.
At Kia, we believe to find inspiration, you have to move. Event features exclusive models such as Sportage, Stylish and Good services 7.9% APR representative and up to £2,500 PCP deposit contribution. Plus these models will be available sooner than you think. Search Kia Inspire event. Kia. Movement that inspires. T's and C's apply. Petrol models only. Kia Finance ends 20th of February.
Every household will get help with energy bills this winter. The UK government is giving you an extra £400 towards your bills. For most households, payments are automatic. If you're on a traditional prepayment meter, you'll receive vouchers. You will also get even more help with your bills with the Energy Price Guarantee. Find out more at gov.uk/help for households today.
For the welcome back on orbit and the new curious river explorers, for the recliners and the fine diners, for the self-explorers and the tell-us-morers, for the moment and the memories, for luxury European river cruises with the reassurance you're in the safe hands of a Dutch recommended provider. Visit rivieratravel.co.uk or speak to your local travel agent. Riviera Travel, forever curious. Rise! If you're just waking up, good morning and welcome to Classic FM.
And shine.
Here with lots of wonderful music to help you get up and start the day.
More music breakfast. Just tune in to Listen on your radio and on Global Power. Future News Classic FM.
You're listening to Classic FM.
the news. All about the gossip that the girls are hearing about their wedding. Oh, from the opera, the marriage of Figaro. Where are we? What? Together with the conductor was Michael, what's this music? The city country meets up the ladies in lavender from Extreme, Joshua Bell on violin, and Nigel Hess. One more than me, the Alice? Alice? The finale. I think I'm not start.
For centuries, rivers have been history and culture is King's 2024 River Cruises are now on sale. Book your European river journey before the 31st of January to take advantage of a low deposit and complimentary drinks package. You'll also save £1,000 per person. Viking, exploring the world in culture. Find out more at free brochure at viking.com.
Big and white cleanses. Clear Super Clean. We don't have a size for that. It's just going to help your glasses stay cleaner for longer. So you're better off with Specsavers. Offers can't be combined. Terms and conditions apply. Ask in store for details.
Here are the words every timeshare owner will be dreading to hear. Your 2023 timeshare maintenance fees are due. If you own a timeshare, you need to consider whether it's a good investment. My timeshare claims.co.uk helps thousands of owners who will miss their exit their contract and receive compensation. If you bought a timeshare after 5th of January 1999, timeshare to 78900. That's timeshare to 78900 to find out more.
For the recliners and the fine diners. For the self-explorers and the self-more. For the men and the ladies. Select European river cruises with the reassurance you're in safe hands for which recommended provider. Visit rivieratravel.co.uk or speak to your local travel agent. Riviera Travel, forever curious.
The Vodafone Big Winter Sale is now on. Switch to Vodafone Full Fibre Broadband from only £22 per month for 24 months. Standard broadband, affordable broadband without the price tag. Just one of the amazing offers in the Vodafone Big Winter Sale. Go online or in-store today. Ends 26th of January. Vodafone.
CPI plus 3.9% price increase each April. Price increase after 24 months. Credit acceptance and availability checks, terms and verification at vodafone.co.uk/broadband.
That's some fancy looking yoga gear, Miriam.
No, it is. I bought it with my money from Vintage Cash Cow. Vintage Cash Cow. One. I sent off my own jewelry. Even the rest. Yeah. I checked it for all I didn't have to uploading everything to the website.
Discover the journey of loss. It's vintage. Just 077.
Discover the Nangaloo to Uluru. Our travel consultants have all you need to bag yourself a superb holiday. Wine, wildlife, coast, or the Great Outback. Every epic adventure begins with G'day. So come and say G'day to your Australia experts at Flight Centre on 0808 258 9354 and book your holiday with
investigation on how traffic signals got into the cash supplies of the Conservative Party plans. Lebanese parties admitted to being careless after the mayor paid a seven-figure settlement which included a penalty to prevent revenue actions. Labour leader Mr. Farmer was amazed to see the Harry was transferred around the time he was talking to the council. The hardest one to say is clearly their idea is to do discussion and negotiation with only tactical, it's the 40-50 supposed to run. Everybody knows what's wrong. The Commissioner of Public Appointments is to review the competition to appoint the chairman of the BBC, after claims Richard Sharp was involved in arranging a guarantor for a loan for the then Prime Minister Boris Johnson before getting the job. William Shawcross says he wants to ensure the process will run in compliance with the government's governing code for public appointments, spoken in 2020. He could be paid to use less electricity this evening as part of a plan to avoid blackouts. Those who signed up will get rewarded with a 2.6 cents between 5 and 6%. Energy to exactly what makes sense.
If you knew that electricity was going to be cheaper at 8 p.m. than it is at 6 p.m., you might be quite happy to shift your usage. And maybe instead of doing the dishwasher at 6 o'clock when you finish your food, you do it at 8 o'clock.
Coal plants that were expanding the people margins stood down, and other windows that energy savings can identify but not yet confirmed for tomorrow between 4:50 and 6 p.m. The 39-year-old man has been found guilty of robbing the home of former world champion cyclist Mark Cavendish. Romario Hughes stole items worth hundreds of thousands of pounds from the insurance liquid Tour de France stage winner who had a night out in his face. Everton has sacked their manager, Frank Lampard, along with poor form, which has seen them win just 3 out of their 20 matches this season, and is the home at the bottom of the Premier League and goal difference, which is close to 52 managers. In the city, a short time ago, the FTSE 100 was trading at 17th place at 77th place, behind Sunday 24th and 1 euro Philippines. And the weather cold again tonight, with more freezing cold across eastern Wales and central and southern England, cloudy in the north and southeast, with one rain residual, a low of -3, then cloudy some rain in the northwest tomorrow, bright and mild in the northeast. Fog slow to fall in central and southern areas, but there will then be some sunshine, a high of 12 degrees. Big Global News. I'm Tim Humphries. Thank you, Tim, and good afternoon from me, John Dunn. Welcome to Classic FM's More Music Drive, and let's begin at the day with Tchaikovsky. The world's greatest music, Classic FM.
Find the stem. Put the stem down somewhere. Unless I've knocked it down.
You're listening to Classic FM.
Really spirited performance of Bach's music there. The first movement of his Brandenburg Concerto number 1. It was the Swedish Chamber Orchestra Thomas Dalsgaard conducting. And we opened up with Tchaikovsky, a scene from Act 2 of his ballet Swan Lake, and the Philharmonia Orchestra was conducted by Santi Matthias Riedel. 10 minutes past 4 already on Classic FM, and we're relaxing with Sanson.
Can't get it back on. It just went off.
Turn the kitchen light off.
It hasn't been turned on. It's been off.
Turn other lights on. Can't. Can't do this in there. Huh? So come on, eventually, give it a minute.
I'm scared to keep flicking it. See? Nothing's going to
That's
happen.
what it's designed to do.
And what happens when it flicks like that? The fuse, when you do it and the whole thing,
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do.
it's not going to catch fire or something.
A bit of heavy metal on Classic FM. Who'd have thought it? Verdi's Anvil Chorus from the old Trovatore, with Carl Davis conducting the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra and chorus. Now, on Mondays, you're a bit of an uphill struggle, aren't they? And if you're starting to, well, flag a little bit with not enough time occupying your thoughts, I have the perfect piece to gently uplift you and put you across the finishing line. And we'll play it in just a couple of minutes. Just stay with me on Classic FM.
Classic FM.
Alexa, stop. Good afternoon, folks. I hope you are well. So this pipe is a commission. Customer wants a Hefty Dublin, and so this is where we are. And I don't know if you remember, if you watched from the beginning, there was a little bit of plateau on the edge, but I didn't want to reduce the overall size, so I put a little curve on it, and I think it looks really nice. It's got a little curve coming in just at the top there, but I think that works. Nice Hefty Dublin. He wanted this candy rod, and I think it's looking good. I think it's got a really, it's kind of a mixture between a soft look because of the candy stem and also sort of a masculine, robust kind of pipe because of the weight and the size. How you doing, Bull Moose? Hope you're all well. Well, that's what the customer wants. Customer wants, customer gets. There was discussion about putting a band on, but I'm looking at it now. It would have been overkill because of the colourful stem. I think that will set it off beautifully, and I think a silver band or something like that would have actually spoiled, would have taken away the focus. This is all about the colour in the stem and obviously the grain. Hopefully I've picked a block which hopefully should give us some really nice cross grain. It is the same stem material, yeah. I had another rod. It's my last one now. So I've got enough maybe for another pipe with a similar kind of length stem. These are quite short rods when you get them as blanks. They're only about 6 or 7 inches long. It would look different a little bit to the swirly one because when you cut it with the sort of a corkscrew kind of effect, it obviously looks different because you're cutting across the colour grain. But it's the same stem, yeah. It's the same material. It's a different rod, but it's the same model, same design. Obviously, because it's patterned, it's swirly. It's obviously random patterns. And basically when I cut into it, I just made sure that this vein of color runs along the top, so that you see it, and the customer smokes it, he sees it, and when somebody looks at it, they see that. And this one here is more of a sort of larger section of color, whereas this I thought was more attractive, like a vein running from top to toe. So sometimes you can tell what it's going to look like when you look at it, sometimes you can't. It can be a bit random sometimes. And if you look as well, you can see there's a very slight taper on the shank, just to give it a little bit more heft, is what the customer wanted. So you've got essentially a straight line at the bottom, and with a little bit of a taper at the top there. And I've drilled it so that there's a little bit more briar at the bottom, to make sure that there's no risk of burnout, which is what I always do, is make sure that there's plenty briar underneath the chamber. And this is a standard tenon, it's not filtered. Yeah, you probably saw that anyway. Yeah, exactly. I mean, getting the lines, that's what it's all about, you know. Tapered stems sometimes can be a bit tricky. It's an area where, especially where new pipe makers struggle, is getting those lines with a tapered stem. It's hard. It took me a while. I kind of feel for new pipe makers when I see the stems, which, you know, still, I mean, they're on their journey, you know, and with time they'll just perfect that. With every pipe it will get better, but I know exactly what they're going through. Well, I didn't want to say anything, RJ. That's not my place. But if you're telling everybody, then yeah, this pipe is for RJ, and it always gives me a bit of extra buzz when I know that the customer is watching the pipe being made. And I like the connection that it builds with the customer as well, because you know they'll automatically have a connection with the pipe because they've seen it being built, and that makes me feel good because I know that the customer's going to treasure the pipe. And I'm sure they're going to treasure it anyway, but I think it just adds a little extra dimension, a little extra personal touch, the fact that they've seen it being made, which in this day and age is quite rare. Although shank is round, I'm going to give it a very soft flat edge so that it'll sit. Not quite there yet. Yeah, you're talking about Levon Erk. He does very nice, sort of like the swirly pipe that I did, but he does it. He's got like a square way that he does it. Yeah, it's interesting. I've got the DVD. I bought it. Where is it? Yeah, it's Father the Flame. You can't. It doesn't work in the UK. You have to. I've got one of like a plug-in USB disc DVD reader, which is in. It's in the region which covers the USA, so that I can watch it. It's an interesting video. Not what I was expecting. I think a lot of people were expecting more of a film about pipe making, whereas this is more of a film about the characters who happen to make pipes or cut briar. And it was a beautiful film, very moving, I thought, a little bit dark at times even, and it was beautifully shot, but it wasn't really a film about pipe making or pipe smoking, not really, some of it, but I thought the vast majority was more about the characters. So shaping is good. And the grain, I think, on this pipe should be very good. Don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but you can see the bird's eye there. And then you get a cross grain and more bird's eye. Couple of little marks on it, but they'll absorb perfectly well in the staining. There's no pits as such, and there's no deep issues. A couple of surface spots, but that's about it. You'll get that pretty much on any pipe. Always get itchy when I wear these gloves. And I think for the size, I think it's quite lightweight, which means that the block is very nicely seasoned. I'm going to estimate it's about 65 to 70, maybe a bit lighter. 64, bang on, which is a very good weight considering the size. A perfectly clenchable pipe. It's not too long, so the center of gravity is closer to your face. It's perfectly clenchable. It's a nice size to sit back and relax. You can use it as a reading pipe, armchair pipe, and you can also clench it. It's a nice happy medium. You might not want to clench it all day long, but it's definitely clenchable. Even if you're doing something, you just want to put it in your mouth for a short while while your hands are busy. Definitely doable. have to restock on sandpaper. I'm running out. I haven't done an order of materials for quite a long time. I've run out of silver bands. I've got literally 1 or 2 left. And I've got loads of non-silver. I've got copper and nickel and German silver. And obviously I can make wooden ones as many as I want, but I'm down to my last 2 silver bands. Hi Paul. So I definitely need to do an order soon. Hi Alex. At the moment I'm kind of holding myself back from keeping one of the pipes. I'm really thinking of taking either 702 or 703, and I'm having a hard job holding myself back. I'm kind of hoping that somebody buys one of them soon, and I know I'm conscious of the fact that, you know, people's funds are really tight at the moment, and People are talking about the tax date, you know, in February, that people will have more money, but I'm not sure I'll hold out till then. 702 or 703, I'm very, very tempted. Both beautiful pipes. I kind of want to treat myself to one. Yeah, they really are nice pipes. 703, obviously, it's more, you know, there's a bit of art there too. You know, it's something out of my normal sort of pipes that I do. You know, I do sort of real freehand style shapes every so often, and that one's probably been the most complicated one that I've done, that I've tackled so far. The sanding of the junction there, that took me all day yesterday. The pipe took me 2 days to make, which is a long time for me. But the sanding in that junction was just, you can't get your sanding discs in there, you know, so you have to do it all by hand. So it's a combination of sandpaper, files, whatever you can get your hands on that can get into those kind of crevices. But it took so long.
Someone is at the front door.
I mean, to do that again, I would probably want to go out and find some sanding device that I could use that would make my life easier. I mean, I've tried using sort of the drum sanders on the Dremel. Even that didn't really work for me. See, the problem is that because it's so curved, if you use any kind of spinning device, it creates a hard cut. So you might be able to go around, but you'll have lots of little hard cuts going all the way around because it's sanding so fast. Whereas you do it by hand, you kind of feel the curve and you can sort of, it just took forever. That's the bottom line. It took forever. Pipe books. The problem is that the really good ones sell out really fast, and sometimes you get a rerun, but because it's quite a niche thing, they'll do one run and usually they won't finance the second run. Sometimes it does happen, but a good pipe book, for instance, is the Scandinavian ones by Jan, whatever his name is, and that's one of the best books because you've got a variety of, you've got all the Scandinavian pipe makers. So you've got a variety of styles, so it's a really good book to look at, but you can't buy it anymore. Or if you'd be lucky if you can though, and the prices also, they're quite expensive. I bought mine years, I think, but I think I was lucky to get it. Jan Anderson, his name. I've got 3 books of his. I've got the Scandinavian pipe makers, I've got one on Tom Eltang and one on Bone Lord. I don't think he did any others, but the one to get is the Scandinavian one because it's got a bit of everybody in there. Yeah, it's Jan Anderson. This is the book I'm talking about, the Scandinavian pipe makers, and it's a decent book. It's got very good pictures. So you've got, look how many pipe makers you've got. You've got Sixten Iversen, Lars Iversen, Nana Iversen, Paul Rasmussen, and Julie. Paul Rasmussen, yeah, and Julie. Gert Holbeck, whose style I really like, very refined. S-Bang, Tom Eltang, Søren Refberg, Paul Winslow, Philip Vigan, Peter Hedding, Kjeld Sorensen, Carl Erik Odenthal, Peder Jebsen, that's Nirup, Benna Nielsen, Emil and Jes Chanovitz, Hans former Nielsen, Tony Nielsen, Erik Nording, Benny Jørgensen, Lasse Skovgaard, Henrik Olsen, Leo Bogart. That's a lot of pipe makers. And you got another page here: Peter Hischen, Søren Erik Andersen, Sven Borg, Paul Ilsted, Jens Tau Nielsen, Manduela, Kai Nielsen, Carsten Tarp, Hjau Ries, Sven Hangard, Peter Hedegaard, Teddy Knudsen, Kent Rasmussen, Kurt Bolleby, Erik Nielsen, Bjørn Nielsen, Jos Johansson, Carsten Itzkov, Heinrich Leopold Jensen, Jørn Meek, Bjørn Thurman, Bonlord, Arne Young, Bern Bengtsson, Bengt Carlsen, Dura Semjaniv, Love and Sarah Giga, Volmer Nielsen, Ronnie Tuner, Lars Goran Gura Markunga, Jonas Rosengren, Lars Jonsson. I think that's it. So many pipe makers. And then of course you've got this book, which is the pipe book by Richard Carlton Hacker. It's out of date now. The information is really quite old. It's from the 1980s, I think. But it's still, in my opinion, a very good book to read. It gives you a good, it's really more for the pipe smoker, but also there's plenty there for the pipe maker. There's lots of different shapes, lots of different pipes, and it just talks about you know, a lot of the old traditional companies that are out there. It's a very, very good read, I think. Some of the information, some people say, is not 100% accurate, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a good read. There's plenty of pictures in there. It's just a good read. It's a good book. And then of course you've got the Rick Newcomb, In Search of Pipe Dreams, and Still in Search of Pipe Dreams. For a pipe maker, for me, there's two reasons to get these books, these two. One is to see the pictures of the Scandinavian greats, their pipes. So you've got in here Sven Bang, Lars Iversen, Jes Chanovitz. You know, you've got some amazing pipes in here. So the pictures of those pipes are worth seeing. So for me, for that alone, it was worthwhile spending it. And the rest of it is also the second thing which is worth seeing, reading about, is his theory on the diameter of the drill in the draft hole. Other than that, it's just a nice chat. I mean, he just basically talks about pipe making, pipe smoking, and you know, how he enjoys the hobby, and his opinion. He's quite an opinionated fellow in a nice way. So there's, you know, there's various things that talk about, you know, what's called a first, what's called a second in a pipe. Are pipe fills acceptable? What type of pipe fills are acceptable? The gap in the tenon and the mortise, the gap at the end, is that acceptable? You know, all of that kind of thing, where everybody has a different opinion, and that's essentially what it ends up being, is that everybody has their own version of how to do things. Then I've got the Bonord book, which I go through a lot, and the Tom Eltang book. So again, the reason I get for these is simply for inspiration. You look at the shapes, you look at how they go about doing things. Even looking at pictures of their workshops, I find inspiring. So that's and I mean, there are some other books that I've got, but this one finally is the one which was brought out not so long ago. this is really a coffee table book. It's really a piece of art. And again, I should probably look after this more. Probably be collectible one day, but this is really just professionally done. Very, very, very beautiful photos. Very artily done. Just look at the full-size pictures there. Really, really nice. And so here you see, for instance, you've got pictures of workshops and stuff like that, which I find inspiring to see that. I'll mention one other book. This is a book which is in German, so I can't understand it when I read it, but this is a book which I got in the Israti sale many years ago, and this is actually was sent to Moti Israti, and it's signed by the author, which I thought was really nice. It's not going to be valuable or anything, I just thought it was a nice touch. But what this has is a little sort of snippet of pipe makers from all around the world. So there's like a page or a double page for each maker, and these were obviously makers that he thought were worthy of reading about. And you've got all the big makers and all the artisanal carvers as well of that time. So again, shape inspiration, pipe inspiration. You know, even people that make new shapes, they're all inspired by somebody else. You know, it's very rare for people to make an absolutely brand new shape, and it's those greats that do it, like Bo Nord and Lars Iversen. But when you just read and read and read and read, it just goes into your brain, into your subconscious, and when you're making a pipe, you see the grain, you'll think of a shape, and you'll try and sort of, even if it's an adaptation of a shape, like 703 that I did now, the coiled tadpole. It's based on a tadpole by Peter Heading. I think it was Peter Heading, but it's not the same as his, but it's very similar. But you get inspired by somebody else and you do it. In the pipe making world, I don't think that the word plagiarism applies. You know, some people do accuse people of copying other people. I've had people accuse me of that, and I see it differently. Unless you're literally copying something and you're making it into a carbon copy. But if you're using inspiration and you make your own version, I see no problem with that at all. And I think everybody does it. Everybody. Otherwise, pretty much every shape out there has been inspired by an original Dunhill shape or a Chariton shape. So really, everybody's been inspired by somebody else. So, anywho, I'm going to have a little break now. That's where we're up to at the moment. Pipe is looking really good, and I now just need to go through the various different sandpapers, and we're ready to stay in a little bit later on this evening. For now, I'll say thank you very much, everybody, for joining. I'll catch you on the next one. My brand of lathe is Record Power. All right, thanks everybody.